We talk about wealth like it's a math problem. Earn more, spend less, invest the difference. And that's true. But it's only half the equation. The other half is invisible. It lives in the conversations you have, the purchases you mention, the salary you post online. Every time you signal your financial position to the world, you don't just share information. You hand over a lever. And other people, without even meaning to, will use it. The moment you tell someone your salary, you just handed them a remote control to your bank account. Here's what happened with Derek. He gets the bonus, $8,500, the biggest check his name has ever been on. And at lunch, it just comes out. His co-worker, let's call her Janet, smiles and says congratulations. Genuinely happy for him. Nothing sinister. Janet is not the villain of this story. But something shifts in Janet's head. Not consciously, just a recalibration. Derek is now the guy who got the big bonus. And from that day forward, every group dinner, every suggestion, every plan gets run through that filter. The restaurant suggestions get slightly nicer. The vacation ideas land a little more expensive. Nobody says anything. The pressure is completely ambient. Researchers found that people who discussed their raises spent 34% more in the following year than those who stayed quiet, even when the raises were identical. Same money, different silence, completely different outcome. 34%. That's not a rounding error. That is the cost of one conversation. And here's the thing. Derek isn't even responding to Janet. He's responding to his own internal model of who Derek with a bonus is supposed to be. You tell people you make good money and your brain starts casting you in a new role. You start buying props for that role. The nicer gym bag, the upgraded phone, the jacket that costs $340 when the $80 one did exactly the same job. You're not making these choices. The identity is making them for you. That's the mechanism. That's what nobody talks about. There is an entire industry built on this. Banks call it aspirational spending. Marketers call it lifestyle alignment. I call it the economy finding your wallet by following the trail of things you said out loud at dinner. The average visible wealth signal, a new car mention, a salary disclosure, a vacation post, costs $2,147 per year in what researchers call maintenance spending. That's not the price of the car. That's the price of telling people about the car. The social infrastructure you now have to maintain around that signal. And it compounds. Every signal raises the floor. What used to feel normal starts feeling cheap. What felt like a treat becomes expected. This is the ratchet. It clicks up. It never clicks down. You can upgrade your visible lifestyle in one conversation, but you can almost never downgrade it without a story. But Marcus made one mistake at a family barbecue that would cost him more than his entire annual salary. He's been building for 20 years, disciplined in every way that matters, and one afternoon undoes more than he knows. We'll get there. First, let me show you the comparison that changed how I think about all of this. Two people. Same income, same city, same employer. 15 years apart. Before I do, if you've ever felt that ambient pressure where you can't explain why you spent the money, but you know the crowd around you had something to do with it, this channel is for that feeling. Subscribe. We dig into the mechanisms most people never name. Person A. Call her Renee. She's excited about her career. She shares the wins, the promotion posts, the salary updates in the group chat. Nothing wrong with any of it. She's earned every bit. But by year 3, her spending has drifted up to match her signal. The ratchet has clicked twice. Person B is Marcus. Same raises, roughly the same trajectory. But Marcus grew up watching his father get asked for money the moment anyone found out he had it. So Marcus learned early. You don't announce. You just accumulate. At the 15-year mark, the gap between Renee and Marcus isn't income. It's not intelligence. It's not discipline in any dramatic sense. It's the compound interest on lifestyle creep. The $127,000 sitting in Marcus's account that never left, because nobody knew to expect it to. Renee's money didn't disappear to bad choices. It disappeared to maintenance. The cost of holding up the image of the version of herself she introduced to the world. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. She couldn't even tell you where it went. That's not irresponsibility. That's the system working exactly as designed. Quick, when's the last time a rich person told you exactly how much they make? Exactly. That silence isn't awkwardness. It isn't modesty. It is a deliberate, practiced, completely intentional strategy. 78% of millionaires in a 2024 study never discuss their net worth with friends. Not occasionally. Never. This is the single most consistent behavioral trait across the entire sample. Not investment strategy, not tax optimization. The most consistent thing is what they don't say, because they understand something that takes most people decades to learn. Every number you share becomes an anchor. And anchors don't just hold boats, they hold you down too. When you tell someone you make $95,000, you haven't just shared a fact. You've created a reference point in their head that will shape every financial interaction you have with them for years. Their asks will scale to it. Their assumptions will scale to it. And most importantly, your own self-concept will start to scale to it. That's the ratchet clicking. You just can't hear it. Now Marcus, the barbecue. This is the one that still gets me because Marcus knew better. He's been playing this game quietly for 20 years. He's good at it. But there is a specific kind of vulnerability that only activates at family gatherings, usually around the third hour, when someone's uncle says something dismissive about your life choices and your whole body wants to prove you've made it. The financial system loves that uncle. He's done more damage to personal savings rates than inflation. Marcus mentions he paid off the house. Just that. One sentence. He's proud. He should be. 20 years of work. But the table heard something different. They heard, Marcus has money. Marcus has room. Marcus is the person you call when the transmission goes out and rent is due on the same Tuesday. Remember that coworker Derek mentioned his bonus to? Janet. She's about to show up again, at the worst possible moment. Different name, same mechanism. Because the ratchet doesn't care who's holding the lever. Within 6 months of that barbecue, Marcus has co-signed a loan, covered 2 family emergencies, and quietly picked up the tab on a vacation he didn't want to take. Not because he had to, because the disclosure created an expectation. And expectations once set feel like obligations. This is the Diderot effect, named after a philosopher who got a fancy dressing gown as a gift and then spent years buying expensive things to match it until he was nearly broke. One new object disrupts the harmony of everything around it. So you upgrade everything around it. One disclosure disrupts the social harmony of your relationships, so you spend to maintain it. The social ratchet effect is the Diderot effect applied to identity itself. You're not just buying things to match a room. You're buying a life to match a version of yourself you accidentally announced. And the cruel part, the part that makes this so hard to escape, is that the spending feels like freedom while it's happening. It feels like you're living up to your potential. You're not. You're servicing a debt you created the moment you opened your mouth. A social debt. Invisible on any spreadsheet. Completely real in your account. Go back to Derek, that $50,000 bonus moment. After the lunch with Janet, Derek upgrades his apartment just slightly, gets a better car just slightly, takes a trip that was a stretch just slightly. Each decision is defensible. No single one is reckless. But the lifestyle floor has risen, and it never comes back down. 15 years later, that's $127,000 in compound interest that never compounded. In 60 seconds, I'm going to give you the 3-step audit that stops this cycle permanently. Not vague advice, a specific process. But first, you need to understand exactly what you're auditing. Your financial profile is not just your bank balance. It's every data point you've ever shared about your money. Your salary mentions, your purchase stories, your Instagram captions about the hotel room view. Every single one of those is a ratchet click. And every ratchet click raises the floor that your future self has to pay rent on. We've built an entire culture around financial transparency and called it authenticity, which is beautiful, genuinely. But somewhere between being authentic and captioning your business class seat with the exact airline and seat number, the system figured out how to monetize your honesty. The algorithm is not your financial advisor. This is the social ratchet effect, named now so you can see it. Financial visibility creates a baseline. Baselines create expectations. Expectations become social pressure. Social pressure becomes spending. Spending becomes identity. Identity locks in the floor. Click, click, click. The only way to stop it is to stop feeding it data points. Not because you're secretive, because you're strategic. Financial silence isn't antisocial. It's the most forward-thinking financial decision you can make. You're protecting a future self who hasn't made their choices yet. The moment you disclose, you narrow your future options. The silence preserves them. Every number you don't share is a door your future self still gets to walk through. Marcus knows this now. The barbecue cost him. But it also clarified something he'd been soft about for years. He got sharper after it. Most people do once they can name what happened. Now the fix. 3 steps, specific, actionable. And one thing nobody else is going to tell you about because it sounds too simple to be real until you do it. Here's your test. For the next 90 days, add 0 new data points to your financial profile. No salary mentions, no purchase brags, nothing. Don't announce the raise. Don't caption the upgrade. Let people's mental model of your finances quietly fall out of date. Step 1 of the audit. Map your disclosure history. Write down every financial signal you've sent in the last year. Salary mentioned. Purchase shared. Income posted. Just list them. If that list is longer than you expected, which it will be, this channel will continue making sense to you. Hit subscribe. Every week, we pull apart one more mechanism that's been running quietly in the background of your financial life. Step 2. For each signal, estimate the maintenance cost, the dinner upgrades, the loan requests, the trips you felt obligated to fund. Don't guess. Actually look at what changed after each disclosure. The number will surprise you. Most people find $2,847 or more per signal per year. Not because they're careless, because the system is remarkably efficient at extracting it once the door is open. Step 3. And this is the one. Build the invisible floor. This is the strategy I said I'd hold until now. A secret reserve that exists completely outside your social identity. Separate account. Separate institution if possible. Nothing connected to your primary bank that shows up in Apple Pay or linked apps. No one knows it exists. Not your partner's family, not your work friends, nobody. This account is not an emergency fund in the traditional sense. It's an optionality fund. The money that lets you say no to anything. A bad loan request, a guilt trip vacation, a financial decision your social circle is pressuring you toward. You can say no because nobody knows the money is there to pressure you about. The ratchet can't click if there's no disclosure to click on. Marcus rebuilt this way. He didn't explain it to anyone. He didn't make a big announcement about changing his approach. That would have been its own kind of disclosure. He just quietly stopped feeding the ratchet. 3 years later, his invisible floor is 6 figures. He has never mentioned it to anyone at a barbecue. He has never captioned it. It does not exist in anyone else's mental model of Marcus. Derek. Back to Derek. Because he's still staring at that bank app. $50,000, hands shaking. And now you understand what's actually at stake in that moment. It's not the $50,000. It's the $127,000 in compound interest that follows from the identity he's about to choose. Whether he announces it or doesn't, that's the decision. In one version, Derek tells Janet at lunch. The ratchet clicks. The floor rises. Over 15 years, $127,000 quietly never makes it to his future. He can't point to where it went. It went to the identity. In the other version, Derek smiles at his phone, closes the app, opens a new savings account at a different bank, and transfers $10,000 before lunch. He doesn't say anything at lunch. He's just a guy having a sandwich. Financial silence isn't about hiding from people you love. It's about keeping your future self in control of decisions your present self hasn't even encountered yet. The ratchet only works if you give it something to click on, so give it nothing. The richest thing you can say about money, sometimes, is nothing at all.